We are live, or so I think. What is going on, guys? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing good. How about that? How about that news today, guys? We've been pumping out videos all freaking day. Bullish news all over the place, man. So, a lot we're going to talk about today. Everybody's got a ton of questions, so we're going to get into it. Looking over at JASMY, still up 17% on the day. Bitcoin had a little bit of a pullback, so it is trying to pull the alts down with it. But JASMY's like, nah, bro, that's not happening, dude. JASMY's fighting it, staying above support. If JASMY can stay above support at 2 cents, 2 cents one, that would be great. Let's get into the comments a little bit here, real quick. Lord of the Realm. What's up, JASMY family? What's up, brother? What is going on? Ola Thomas. What else do we got? Nick, we ain't just rich, we JASMY rich. 100%, brother. What's up? What's up? Guess today we talk about SEC after the ETH and if it would affect JASMY this bull run. Yes, we are going to cover that as well, my friend. Do not fear. Nice day for JASMY gang. 100%, 100%. FBK, yo, what's up, brother? Thomas, what time is it going to start? Right now. I get the fries that'll cross your eyes, brother. Let's go, JASMY, Crypto Goddess. How are you? How are you? Dante was happy to hear Hara's news. Yes, 100%. Hara dropping the alpha on us this morning, waking up to some thunder and lightning out of Hara. The SEC needs to go get a life. Yes, 100% agree with that. I would not disagree there. Good old Gare Bear, right? Good old Gare Bear needs a little bit of a hug, I think. Somebody hurt him. Who hurt you, Gary? Who hurt you, brother? All right, what do we got going on here? So guess the first, best guess first, this big partner being announced. Will it mean more lockup? Some great news? Yes, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into some hypotheticals. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on your way in, everybody. Yes, Element Rage. Agreed, brother. Agreed. Thank you for that. Robert, I hope it's a real partnership and not a new exchange promotion. I think if it was a new exchange promotion, he wouldn't have said it the way that he did. He's never done that before with just an exchange collaboration. So I would think it would be a little bit bigger than that. Gary wants 2.5 billion in order to stop his bullshit. I don't think Gary wants money, to be honest with you. I mean, Gary's worth almost $100 million. So he's doing this for political gain for his career, not for money at this point. When we finally break 3 cents, it won't stay too long. Straight to 5 cents. 100% agree. What's up, Rob Clay? What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Dante, do you think the SEC ETH court issues going to affect JASMY? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. What's Rob? How you doing today? I'm so freaking tired, excited for this coming week. 100% agree there too, man. 100%. It's going to be an exciting last 11 or 12 days of the month, guys. Greetings from Finland. Go, JASMY, go. Yes, welcome in all the way from Finland. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, guys. So yeah, what's everybody up to, man? What's going on out there? How's everybody's day going? I guess you guys want to talk some JASMY, huh? Oh, we got a lot to get into, guys. So, like I said, we're going to look around the market here real quick. We got some of the alts, kind of a mixed bag at this point. NXRA still running up, JASMY still up, KASPA, Nets, XRP's looking good, 63 cents. What else is going on? Book of Memes is up a little bit. It wouldn't be a bad time to DCA into that if you guys are looking for that. Look at that. The altcoins were pumping pretty hard. I think yesterday or the day before, but they're down now. So some good entry points or DCA points on some of these AI coins, especially stuff like Render and Fetch AI. Fantastic AI plays, in my opinion. So yeah. What else is going on here? What is going on? Okay, so let's have a look around, guys, shall we? What did we have to look at? I'm actually going to bring up the JASMY chart. We're going to have a look at the JASMY chart as well. All right, so we're on the, let's do this. So we're on the daily, still inside this bull flag, looking good, looking good. We're going wick to wick, but we could lessen it and still be a bull flag. But if we go to the, that's the daily. So we wicked out of it, broke out of it, and then back inside. So let's go to the 4 hour, right? Ah, damn it. Dang it, dang it. There we go. Good enough. All right. So if we look, we've broken out and then back inside of the bull flag on the 4 hour. The 1 hour, same thing on the 1 hour. I figure, like I said, we're going to ping pong, in my opinion. We're going to ping pong inside of this bull flag for another few days before we really burst out. I told you guys down here, if you guys go back and watch the live streams, guys, like two days ago, right? When we were down here, I was telling you guys that we were probably going to shoot up to just over 2 cents, and then we were going to ping pong inside of this bull flag on the daily, probably for another week, right? So hopefully not, though. Hopefully tomorrow we can burst out, or we can continue to burst out later today, but we've dropped back inside. But hopefully we can start tomorrow's candle and have a breakout. We'll have to see what happens. So yeah, what do we got here? Breaking that 3 cent level is so hard for JASMY. Should be soon, I hope. Yes, but when it finally does break, it's going to be like a dam exploding, right? So going to be very, very epic. What will the market cap be for JASMY if it hits 50 cents? Well, Craig, I can't really tell you because the supply is going to play a big factor in that number, right? So I don't know how many tokens are going to be in circulation. I mean, we're going to get into it a little bit, but like there's 1 billion coins suddenly missing from circulation with no news or announcements or anything like that as to why. So to be able to know what the market cap would be, I need to know what the circulating supply is going to be, right? And I don't have that number, so it's a moving target, really. Afternoon, my man Rob. Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon. 25 billion, Craig, unless we lock some tokens up. There you go. There you go. They're planning on an initial lockup of 100 million, and it looked like they nearly did 1 billion. Hopefully some confirmation on Saturday. Well, the 100 million was just for testing out the network, right? That initial number of 100 million was just for testing, right? So yes, but hopefully we get some answers on Saturday. That would be fantastic. And boom. What's up, brother?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been having some adventures. Hey, Jesus.
I know. I think my hair got a little grayer in the meantime.
The beard, too. The beard, too. Yeah, man. So what's going on? What's new, man? How about this craziness?
What's that?
How about all this craziness this morning? Hara just
Yeah.
dropping alpha on us.
Yeah, I know, right? I think we've all probably been waiting for that message from Hara for a little while now, and it's nice to see him actually kind of announce it. And the business partnership, whatever that is, that's coming with it. Hmm. I don't know what that could mean. I don't know if that's like, whenever they say business partnership, you never know. Is this something in relation to like the whole Junction Jasmy chain, or is it business partnership in relation to one of the physical products, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, that's just it. That's like I went over his tweet this morning, and really, I mean, for me personally, I pulled four kind of bombshells out of this simple little tweet, right? Or post, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he starts off with saying, letting us know about the roadmap, which I'm so looking forward to that. That's going to reveal so much about the rest of the year to us, right?
Yeah.
But then he goes on, like you said, and he says he's going to be on Telegram on the weekend or next week to kind of, answer to it, so to speak, explain it a little bit. But then he also says Jasmy also have a major business partnership to get ready to go, which we will release after the roadmap. That's really got me curious because Hara has never well, I shouldn't say never, but like I'm getting some people saying, well, I hope it's not a stupid collaboration with like BitGet or something like that. It's like, well, he's never done that before.
He has sort of done that before. I mean, he's done that a couple of times where it's like, we're all waiting to like hear about the lockup. And he's like, guess what? We have a promotion with another exchange you've never heard of somewhere around the world. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah, but he's never like pre-announced an announcement and then it's like I got an announcement. We just saved a ton of money on our car insurance by switching to Geico.
That's funny.
But then he also goes on and says more details and developments on Junction's business will be released further after that. So I guess they've got more Junction announcements coming after the other announcement kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing with Junction is that I get the impression, at least from a lot of crypto startups, companies, players, whoever, kind of all over the world, that they want to be a part of Japan, right? Like, I don't know if you get that impression too, but it seems like with the whole, market kind of waking up over there and kind of the stars aligning, it seems like there's a lot of crypto based companies that are kind of like trying to figure out an angle of how they can get in on this, right? And I feel like a lot of them are just reaching out to Hara like all the time, like, hey, can we collaborate? And he's kind of like, sure, and then they add another one to the list, right?
Well, with the Japanese government making that announcement about 2 weeks ago about how they're looking to help, startups, especially in the digital asset space, right?
Yeah.
That's like a magnet right there,
Yeah.
Let's get in on this. Let's get some government funding. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get the market going, right? I mean, that's kind of what a star and Sota has been asking for a while, and he's kind of been really instrumental in that. I think he put a pretty good focus on it, with their company that they were, I want to say, instead of starting in Japan, they started in Singapore. But then he's always said all along, I want to come back to Japan. I want the company to be in Japan, but you need to make it, a favorable environment for us here, right? And so if they can do that, across the board and for any other startups, I mean, there could be a lot more. This is just the very beginning of things in Japan, right?
Which is funny because you now see, I mean, not now, but I mean, you see Hara and Jasmy making, bigger attempts or more blatant attempts, so to speak, to get out of Japan.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's a good way to look at that.
Yeah.
It's like, Hara, everybody's going back into Japan and you're trying to leave.
The grass ain't greener, bro.
Yeah. You know, I have a line about that whenever you think the grass is greener, there's usually just more grass.
Exactly. Well, like, I don't know, did you hear about this I don't know the word. So for lack of remembering the word, more of a company branch of that's being funded by the Japanese government in Silicon Valley to help connect Japanese companies and startups in Silicon Valley with VCs in the States. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't, but that would be pretty bullish if that's true.
Yeah, it's I covered it about 2 days ago. It's just south of they're located just south of San Francisco, and yeah, it's basically I can't remember what the hell it was called. I'll have to check if I shared it on my X page, but
You know what
um,
this is? This sounds exactly like Ken Miura. I mean, that's pretty much his exact role for JASMY in Silicon Valley, is doing that exact task. So
yeah,
maybe, if you think about it, like JASMY has always had all these great kind of behind the scenes government connections. And so this could easily be one of those things that they're saying like, hey, we need our Japanese companies uh, to be big in the US as well. And we need to be able to have access. And how can the government help facilitate that access? Right.
oh, exactly. And yeah, it's that's I covered it like 2 days ago. I'm trying to see if I'm looking on Hara's page now, but yeah, it's essentially just to sum it up. Like I said, it's just a startup company, or it's a company for startups funded by the Japanese government, south of San Francisco, Silicon Valley, connecting these Japanese companies with VCs in the United States. So I would think that Jasmine would try to take advantage of that situation.
Yeah. Well, they already did the thing with Ken Miura, right? They've already looked into it. I think it was Dip Metaverse said when he was talking to Hara that he said they wanted a US VC on board with the company. So if you think about it, they've been working on that exact angle for a while now, and maybe haven't really gotten anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of the push that they're making with the government, is maybe the government can help us um, attract those VCs to Japanese companies, right? Because I mean, if you think about it, like if you think about like U.S. companies in Silicon Valley, right? Like GAFA, right? All the big players, um, they're probably attracting VCs from all over the world, right? So from Japan's viewpoint, wouldn't they want VCs from all over the world also? Probably,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Which is why, like in a lot of the discussions lately, the Middle East has been brought up numerous times when they've been talking about crypto in Japan, right? Like they're trying to open some kind of little migration route there between the Middle East and Japan. It's like the solo cup with the string over to your friend's house. Like they got that going. And they're like, hey, like is there anybody over there? Like, you guys awake? Like listening to see if anyone's talking back.
Yeah, they've been doing that. And the thing is, like, who really knows what's really going on in the background that we're just not privy to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't know if you get any kind of information that you're not allowed to share with us. So blink twice if you know something.
Hey, I'm in the dark, man. I left the group chat, remember? So now they got to reach out to me and like tell me like, hey, do you want to participate? And I'm like, well, probably. And they're like, it'll be on Telegram. I'm like, well, probably not.
Yeah. And I heard a toilet flush.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so it's and plus Hara had also spent that over in ETH Denver. He spent what 4 hours with VCs in the States as well, right? So
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows? The thing is that a lot of people don't understand that are, I don't know if they're newer to crypto or newer to the whole concept, but uh it takes time, right? I mean, when yeah, it's like it's bullish. Okay, so Hara sat with with a bunch of VCs for 4 hours in the States, and that's bullish and all, but it could take a year for something to develop from that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It could
so
take a long time. I mean, I think the big thing is for any company that is trying to grow into something larger, like something really big, like Jasmy has from the get-go, right? We want to be worldwide, all this stuff. You really got to have a long-term plan, right? There's got to be something in place in the background that's kind of like basically like a roadmap, but like like a 10-year roadmap, a 5-year
yeah,
roadmap of where do we really want this thing to go within 5 years, and what are we going to do along the way to try and make that happen? You know,
yeah,
like a good executive is kind of like a chess player. Like they're always thinking moves ahead, right? Like if the environment changes, what do we do? If you try to avoid your risk as much as possible and kind of plan at a corporate level for what's happening next. So if you think about it like that, like a company like Jasmy, who's got all these executives, right? I mean, they got to be thinking down the road of where they want to go with this thing, you know?
yeah, 100%. So there's another topic that I'm sure you've probably heard about by now today, and that is the missing 1 billion Jasmy tokens from circulation.
I've seen bits and pieces of this. So, you know, I I I looked on Coin Market Cap, I looked on Etherscan, I didn't see it there. But
Mhm.
I've seen the posts by like Lil Bidman with Forbes, where Forbes showed it missing. So I don't know what that means yet.
Yeah, yeah, I've got it here. It's missing on Forbes. It's missing on CoinGecko as well. I'll bring up CoinGecko, and I use CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap literally multiple times a day.
Okay.
Right. So I'm on here all the time, and so again, it's missing here on CoinMarketCap as well, 48.4. But CoinGecko, but on CoinMarketCap is the only one that's still reporting it at 49.2 or something like that.
Right. Right.
So it begs a question, like if it was just like CoinGecko or something like that, I would be like, it's just a glitch and or whatever, right? But it's multiple sources showing a missing billion tokens, right?
Yeah. It depends on where they're citing their information from.
Yeah.
Like even if you go to Etherscan, it says that they cite it from Coin Market Cap.
Yeah, and then it's different.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know what that means yet. And honestly, it would you would think it would be like a error if it was just sort of like a generic number, but if it's a specific number that multiple sources have the same, then there may be more to it, right?
Yeah, it can't be a coincidence, right?
Right.
If you're talking about a number in the billions, right?
Yeah. Hey, but this is crypto. I mean, you never know what's going on here. um,
Another caveat I would add to that is CoinMarketCap is synonymous with not having accurate data. And like I can't tell you how often I'm on X and I see companies complaining because their circulating supply or their tokenomics is not correct, or their market cap's not correct or whatever, and they're always lobbying CoinMarketCap to correct it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, think of it like this: Binance owns Coin Market Cap. Okay. So think of how like Binance runs the innovation zone. Like, all of us global investors want to believe that there's like this team of teams that does quality review and it goes through management, and that goes to the committee, and then everybody weighs in on yay or nay. The reality is that it's probably like some intern type low level something who's kind of like reviewing these things, and that's the person who sort of like just makes that decision. And so when you look at CoinMarketCap, JASMY was wrong for a really long time on CoinMarketCap. And my personal view is I think it's because Team JASMY didn't supply them the correct info. They finally did, and it got straightened out finally after we were like, on them forever, like fix CoinMarketCap, and they finally fixed it, right?
It's your one job.
Yeah, it's your one deal, like fix this thing. So they finally did that, and they finally got it fixed. But it took forever. I mean, that was a long process. I don't know if were you and JASMY when it was doing all that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I did a video at one point because Veracity, I think is what it is, VRA.
Yeah.
They had the same problem where their team had actually reached out to CoinMarketCap multiple times, and they're like, "Hey, the numbers that you're showing everybody are wrong. Here's the right numbers," and CoinMarketCap just wouldn't update it.
That's right, man.
It's kind of like CoinMarketCap probably has their daily roles and responsibilities, and this is like what you would call an escalation, right? And it's the squeaky wheel, and it's like, all right, you got to take care of that. And they were just kind of like, no, and it just sort of like went to the bottom of the pile, and it's like, well, are you ever going to get to it? Like you need to fix it eventually. So anyway. Yeah. So CoinMarketCap should be an authority, and it pretty much is. But it makes me a little nervous sometimes it's owned by Binance, just because, I don't know, I question their methods sometimes. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation now as to, maybe we're going to find something out about this billion tokens missing in the roadmap.
Could be. Maybe that's a big announcement. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they started their lock. Maybe. Well, see, and guys, keep in mind, this is all just me and Jesse spitballing and kind of theorizing, right, so to speak. But I mean, like, honestly, like, who knows? Maybe because we did talk about how they had mentioned, Hara had mentioned that it wasn't Hara. It was actually KJ in the Telegram. I think that's who it was. He was saying that they had contacted the centralized exchanges, and namely Binance Japan, about collaborating with them. And you and I spoke about this, I think, last time, about collaborating with the centralized exchanges in regards to the lockup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, in theory, maybe that's the business announcement that they're talking about, a collaboration with, I don't know, Binance Japan or something along those lines in regards to the lockup. Maybe that's why there's a billion tokens missing right now. Like, again, it's all just theory, but you can connect dots.
Well, if they were really missing, then think about it like when a stock does a stock buyback, right? So they decide for whatever reason they're going to buy back some stock. They kind of pull it back into the company reserve. Is JASMY doing that with JASMY coin, that they're pulling back coins and putting it in the company reserve? And why? Why would they do that, right? Like, if they're pulling back coins, would they do it for the wallet, and for rewards and incentivizing people, and they realize they might need more than what they actually had in reserve? Could be. The last couple of days, there's been some pretty big volume. Could that be them pulling some back? I don't know.
Over the last month, over 1 billion coins was purchased on Binance. I know that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who really knows at the end of the day? It's all just fun speculation. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, but would those coins be technically taken out of circulation if it was a pullback from JASMY, so to speak?
Would they be taken out of circulation?
Like, would they be calculated as not in circulation if JASMY kind of pulled them back? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
would they just own them and but does that technically remove them mathematically from circulation? I have no idea.
Yeah, technically it would. It would pull them back. But you know, I mean, think of like tokenomics, right? Like everybody likes to focus on tokenomics and release schedule and things like that. And could that change at any point if they had the money? Yeah, they could. You know, they could pull them back if they wanted to, if they decided, hey, you know, we got to rethink this or we got to rework that. You know, I mean, that's one of these things in crypto that everybody likes to think that everything's always set in stone. And it's like, well, JASMY released 99%. Well, hey, maybe they pulled 1% back.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could do that. They could do anything like that if they have the means, you know?
Well, absolutely, yeah. And again, like we just touched on, they did openly say that they're collaborating with centralized exchanges. So it's not something that they're hiding, right? So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I'm really, really looking forward to Saturday, and that roadmap. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's probably going to come out Friday night, right? Because Saturday to them is like Friday night and the middle of the night for us, right? Like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's the polar opposite all the way around the world.
So I think it's going to be a late night on Saturday for me.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, hopefully it's a good roadmap. You know, when Hara first started doing the roadmaps, you know, and you can kind of see this in Project JASMY, and he's talked about, you know, the old guard doesn't really understand crypto. They're the device makers. So he's kind of like the new guys, the younger guys that do the crypto part, right? And I think he's been learning as he goes. And you know, his first roadmap he put out there was pretty terrible. Didn't show a whole lot of anything. You know, it was like 5 bullet points. Didn't do anything. The following one last year was actually a lot better, right? Actually had quite a few different things on there. It's still not on par with like other crypto roadmaps. Like you can tell it's not really put out by like a computer engineer, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I'm hoping that this roadmap is pretty detailed, and hopefully it will be, right?
Well, I think that they got to know by now the anticipation of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, Hara announcing it today shows me that he's well aware of the anticipation of it, right? So
yeah,
you would hope it's not just duct tape and chewing gum, right?
Yeah, you know, I think part of JASMY is simply them kind of growing into the role and into the company, right? It's that thing of, it's kind of like, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we're ready. And then it's here. And it's like, you better be ready. Go, you know? And that's kind of like what happened when it went over $1 billion, right? In the market cap.
Yeah, welcome to the real world, buddy. Here we go.
Yeah.
So how about good old Gare Bear going after Ethereum?
Gary? What Gary say about Ethereum? What's he doing there?
Well, apparently, you didn't. Oh, that's right. You've been kind of away, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I'm a little out of touch.
So Gary is now, the SEC is now trying to classify Ethereum as a security.
You know why?
They've launched investigations into the Ethereum Foundation, asking for their books and all kinds of stuff like that. A lot of accusations are starting to fly towards the Ethereum Foundation. I mean, rightfully so. They're crooked as a day is long, but you know, I would like to hear. I have a theory, but I would like to hear yours.
Well, I think the easiest clear cut thing that the SEC would probably cite is ICO, right? So your initial coin offering. And they have uh, publicly previously said that any coin that had an ICO, they would treat as a security, right? Now, the question in crypto is kind of like, would you could you start as a security and then move to more of a commodity, right? When it becomes like a nonprofit and you just have this foundation, whatever. And that's kind of where Ethereum and where a lot of them have tried to go, right? They try to have their DAO, um, what's that? Decentralized autonomous organization, right? So that's what they try to go to. But like even JASMY had no ICO. There used to be a ton of ICO FUD around JASMY and some scam that somebody did, but that never actually happened. And so anyway, so any coin that had an ICO, which I think I could be wrong, but I think Solana did. Quite a few of them have, like a lot of, like at least half of them have had ICOs to raise money up
Oh yeah.
front. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? And Gary kind of views it very like, you know, he's the lens is kind of pointed right at that. Now the funny thing though with Ethereum, I actually saw a video of Vitalik that somebody posted where he was like walking downtown and he looked like he was exercising and he had on what looked like spandex tights, like white little shorts and like a skin tight top. I mean, he looks like a space alien. I mean, he really does. It's like, I don't know if they can beat that guy. Like they may try to, but I don't know if they can. I was thinking, you know, he reminds me of is I don't know if you get American Dad there in Canada, but
Yeah.
yeah. So you know the show. It's like the creator of Family Guy, and there's an alien that's part of the family, and that's like Vitalik. He's like the alien that's part of the family. But I don't know if they can beat that guy, honestly. I mean, they can try, but I don't know, you know. And it's again, it's like this worldwide thing. Like it's not just like it's in the U.S. I mean, it's everywhere. So it's kind of like uncharted waters in a way, you know, going after them. And maybe they're trying to do it because, you know, if you think about the money standpoint with like the Bitcoin ETF, right? Well, maybe those companies want to just stay with Bitcoin. I mean, granted, some of them have applied for other coins, but maybe there's part of this thing that wants to just keep that in Bitcoin, right, and not necessarily deviate into an Ethereum, into all these other coins, and open up the floodgate, right? That could be part of it, but you know, Gary overall, he's I don't really know what his strategy is across the board, and I don't even know if he knows what his strategy is. And you know, their attorneys, I don't know, whoever their legal team is at the SEC isn't very good.
Well, I have news on that too. We're gonna get into and the
Oh,
legal teams at the SEC. Yeah,
oh, okay,
I've been doing a lot of digging, buddy.
okay. Let me
So
hear your theory.
okay, so here's my theory. Okay, so and you know it's a little bit longer, so feel free to interrupt me if you have you know some input there on what I'm saying. So first of all, I'll touch on what you were saying about the ICO and stuff like that, right? I'm sure you're familiar with the Hinman speech, right?
I think so.
Yeah, where
Refresh.
Hinman declared he declared Ethereum a non-security, which is why Ethereum ended up thriving in the first place, and then launched a lawsuit against the SEC or against Ripple and XRP.
Okay.
So he gave this speech, and in this speech, he gave them essentially a free pass on the ICO. He said, since the ICO, he said, Ethereum has become sufficiently decentralized, so we consider it here at the SEC a non-security, right, a commodity.
Okay.
So in his speech, that is why Ethereum ended up going into the stratosphere in the first place, right? because the SEC gave it clearance, right? So that being said, what I see happening here is we know that we have the Ethereum ETFs coming up in May. Like Gary's got to shit or get off the pot, right? He's either got to approve it or deny it, and then he's going to get sued if he denies it. And he knows he's well aware of that, right?
Either way, it's going to litigation. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, right? I mean, Gary, on a side note of that as well, 2 Democrats last week sent a letter to Gary requesting that he not approve any more crypto ETFs, right?
Okay. Yeah, great.
So Elizabeth Warren is telling him that he better not, right?
Yeah, maybe that's what she's whispering in his ear in that like still image of them,
Yeah. So the fact that he's got these people in Congress, who have obvious political agendas telling him no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do when you go to court and a judge tells you, yeah, you're going to have to do it? You know what I mean? So then he's got no choice. So what I'm thinking is happening here to kind of tie this all together is I think Gary is trying to preemptively create a defense in court, right, for denying the Ethereum ETF. Whether he launches an actual lawsuit against the Ethereum Foundation or not, they are actively under investigation by the SEC as of right now, right?
Okay.
So that would be, in theory, a reasonable defense in court when they get sued by BlackRock and Grayscale for not approving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that I think they're going to do it is they're going to say, we're not talking about before when Hinman gave the speech and the ICO and stuff. We're going to pretend all that stuff didn't happen. We're going to accuse them of being a security since the upgrade. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go from that point on and say, now you're a security. So the pass we gave you and all the illegal shit we did, we don't have to bring that up in court, right? We just got to talk about since you went proof of stake, right?
Right.
I think that's going to be the reason they launched the lawsuit and declared it as security, and they're going to use this investigation that they're doing into the Ethereum Foundation as a defense in court as to why they denied the Ethereum ETF, and it's just really at the end of the day a stall tactic so that they can continue to kick the can down the road. Eventually, it's inevitable, in my opinion, that Ethereum will have an ETF. I think Gary's just wasting taxpayer money to buy himself time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a pretty good theory. I've thought all along that, Gary in his tell-all memoir is going to tell us all how he saved crypto because of all these lawsuits, right? Because he's going to go, there was no framework. We didn't know. I mean, we just had to sue everybody and see what stuck, right?
I don't make the rules, man. I'm just suing everybody.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I mean, this is the arm of the government that's what it's intended to do, is to regulate, and we don't have any regulations, so we had to do it through the judicial branch, whatever.
Well, that will be on his application for the Treasury job at the White House, right?
Yeah.
We have crypto regulation because of me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, you could be absolutely right. That could be his angle, but it's kind of hard to say, honestly, because the team of lawyers that the SEC has is like a cruise ship full of attorneys, and to say that they're all aligned and all have a goal or they all have a plan or they're all on the same page, good luck with that.
You know what Gary reminds me of? Because he's that one guy, like he clearly he can't read the room, right? He's the one guy in the room that's like, no, right? Reminds me of that one dude, because I you probably have it too. There's always one guy on every single video that I make on YouTube who has to hit the dislike button, right? I could
Yeah.
have 100 50 likes and 1 dislike. It's always that one guy. That's
That's
Gary.
scary. Yeah.
He's like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I always found that out of if I averaged 100 likes, there's 1 dislike to every video. And I think you and I have talked about this before, because I was telling you that, never have I been on YouTube and went, nope, downvote. I simply just turn it off. Like, no one's making you watch this. Just turn it off. Like, you don't have to like leave some, mean spirited comment or tell me why I don't know anything or whatever. Like, just turn it off. Just watch something else,
Some people are like that though. I had a guy about 2 days ago. He put a comment on one of my videos, and he said something about he wanted me to change something, the style of how I was doing my video or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Just the flow of my video, what I do, right? He's like, you need to stop doing this and do this and blah. And I said, or you could just go watch something else. And the other 1,500 people who clicked like on the video can continue to enjoy the content, right?
Yeah, I've got another line for that everybody's an expert and no one knows what they're doing. Totally true.
100%. Let's get to some of these comments here, starting to build up a little bit. Alistair, can you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. XRP will be the next ETF.
Could be.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, who knows? They do have legal clarity, but
they do.
As long as they're still in the remedies phase of this lawsuit, I don't even know. Do you have any idea when this remedies phase of the lawsuit is supposed to come to an end? Like, how long does it take to decide how much money Ripple's going to pay us? Like, that's all that's left. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Asking, can the attorneys or the judge speed this up? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's not the way it works,
Oh, I forgot. I was going to mention that. The attorneys, you reminded me. So apparently, well, I can't remember which company it was. It was one of the major hedge funds. They came out and they had said, I'm going to find the tweet and I'll tag you in it when I reshare it. But they came out and said that they took a stand against any lawyers that work for the SEC, whether they're involved in any of the cases or not. They're being classified as complacent, with the dishonorable and illegal actions of the SEC in court, and they will never hire a single lawyer who ever worked for the SEC moving forward. Right? So you have to think that kind of thing is going to start weighing on the lawyers in the SEC. Did you hear what happened in the debt box case?
No.
Okay, so I told you about the debt box case about a month ago, but so the suit got thrown out. I don't know if you recall me telling you that the SEC, basically, to sum it up, the SEC had convinced the judge that Debtbox was moving funds overseas out of the SEC's jurisdiction, and convinced the judge with misleading false information to institute a restraining order against Debtbox so they couldn't operate as a business until the lawsuit was figured out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially costing the company untold amounts of money, right?
Right.
Well, Debtbox came back with proof that they weren't doing that, and proof that the SEC was aware that they weren't doing that, right? So the judge told the SEC's lawyers, I want you to go, you have, I don't know, 2 weeks or whatever it is to write something up and present it to me as to why I should not sanction you for misleading the court intentionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically the lawyers came back, the SEC lawyers came back, and they said, well, listen, we figure you don't need to sanction us. We'll punish ourselves by putting our lawyers through some rigorous training.
You did tell me this. Yeah, it's coming back now.
So they did all that, right?
Okay.
A couple of days ago, the judge came back and decided because the SEC also, after that, they moved to drop the charges, right? With prejudice. Is it with prejudice? I think it was.
It's
Means you can come back later and file the same lawsuit again, right?
no, I think it's without.
Without, sorry. Okay,
It's
so yeah,
without.
so without prejudice, right?
Yep.
So the judge came out about 2 or 3 days ago and said they levied a heavy sanction on the SEC lawyers, and the judge made like an 80-page brief, just tearing them to ribbons, right? Saying that they intentionally misled the court. Like I said, just tore them to ribbons, and then denied their motion to dismiss the case without prejudice, so that they cannot. The judge made it so that they basically cannot come back and file the lawsuit again, right? So
Okay.
they've completely lost now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the judge tore them to ribbons. And then yesterday morning, there was another congressional hearing, which I streamed it live on the channel at 9 in the morning there, where it was titled SEC's overreach. Was what they were talking about, right? So if you have time, watch it. I streamed the whole thing. It's gold. It's just content ripping you to shreds, right? And naturally, this was brought up. The fact that this judge just tore them to ribbons again. Another judge tore them to ribbons. So it's going to be interesting to see, because I recall John Deaton also on one of his videos talking about how lawyers in, like, I guess in the lawyer network, so to speak, right? The word is a lot of lawyers don't want to take jobs at the SEC because they're being forced to lie and mislead courts, and they're being forced to basically prosecute something that they don't believe, right?
Yeah, personal conviction, I guess. But usually what drives attorneys is money. It's not, ideals.
Well, I don't think
I guess it could be for some, but most of them it isn't,
Well, I don't think it's necessarily on morals. I think it's more on the rest of their careers, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's what it's like. Well, I can't do this because I don't believe it. How am I supposed to prosecute something that so very clearly is wrong? And as you can see, Gary's losing every case he throws into court. How the hell am I supposed to, like, career wise? Is this a smart move? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of them do it for the fame, right? Like they want to put their name on this public thing that's out there, and they want to tell somebody else later how they were a part of that. I mean, the idea of, like, the hedge fund's saying they're not going to hire him. Well, thanks, hedge fund. Thanks. Thanks for looking out for us. It's kind of like it's like, the fox telling you he's not going to kill all the chickens. He's like sitting right outside the door,
I think that's more of a shot across the bow. I don't think it has anything to do with us. I think it's them sending a message to the SEC: knock it the fuck off. We want an Ethereum ETF. And at the end of the day, BlackRock is just more powerful than the SEC.
Yeah.
They
Well,
got the
they're
money.
pretty close. Yeah.
They have the money that controls the people who control the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. You think about, like, the lobbying arm of BlackRock and what they can accomplish through lobbying. I'm sure it's tremendous.
Yeah. It's exactly like, imagine, just funny little thing. It would never happen, but imagine BlackRock or Fidelity all of a sudden throwing funding behind John Deaton's campaign against Elizabeth Warren because she won't act right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing with somebody like Warren is she's really it's such an unpopular position now. It's like you're not just against the corporation, but you're also against the little guy who's in crypto, right? So now you're against both. And it's like, that's not really a winning area to be in. And you're making that your brand, that you're against it all across the board. You know?
Well, she had that bill written, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about it, but literally, so she runs her campaigns on being anti-big bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last bill she wrote that tried to crush crypto, she openly admitted was written by the big banks. She went to them for help to write it. How can
Okay.
you run on an anti-big corporation campaign and have them write your legislation for you?
Great
It's
point.
unbelievable.
Yeah. That's the whole smoke and mirrors of politics, you know. Yeah, I tell you it's about this, but is it?
Unbelievable, man. But I will say this for the asset class. When I got into crypto, and I'm sure that you probably feel the same way. When I look around the community now compared to where we were even 4 or 5 years ago, right? Holy smokes, is it different? A lot of things are happening right now, and it's like you can't see the forest through the trees kind of a situation, because we never thought anything that's happening right now would ever even be feasible or realistic 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Think you
It's
would be
come a
sitting
long
here
way.
talking? Yeah. You think we'd be sitting here talking about an Ethereum ETF 5 years ago?
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
So yeah, but again, a lot of people are newer to crypto, and I guess they don't realize that, right? How far we've actually come.
There still needs to be a lot more regulation. Um, Obviously, the U.S. government has to do something at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen. To be honest, I mean, who knows? It kind of seems like now the legislation is going to come from elsewhere, and then maybe the U.S. could adopt it. Maybe Canada could adopt it. Um, that's the funny thing is it's like on the regulation front, it's like they don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Like Japan's already doing it. That LCX exchange, like their part of the world, they're kind of like doing it. There's a lot of places that have a framework already out there, and it's like what works, what doesn't work. I don't know.
Well,
Hey, go ahead.
I agree with you with the regulation. I don't know what's going to happen to stuff like meme coins at the end of the day, but maybe they'll be classified as their own thing outside of crypto. But at the end of the day, I'm an advocate for regulation, just like you are, because we gotta get the bullshit out. We gotta get the rug pulls, and that stuff's got to go at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if it's got to be painful, then it's got to be painful. But we can't just allow it to continue.
Yeah. I think there's far too many scammers that operate with impunity in crypto. Like that part annoys me because it's hard enough just finding some good projects and having them go up. But then you also have to defend against somebody trying to steal your coins all the time. That's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to keep it on a freaking ledger in a safe somewhere. Just, you know what I mean? Like, I agree. I shouldn't have to. Right?
No, you shouldn't.
Same way if I put money in my bank. I mean, it's a bad example, but at least I know somebody else isn't going to come in and take that money out of my bank. But you were going to say something?
Now, I was going to say, I don't know if you've seen this. I had reposted it the other day that, in crypto, the big goal for, let's say, everybody out there, has always been like the Lambo. It's like, you made it when you got a Lambo. You better, blow all that money you just made on a car to pick up that Lambo. And anyway, there was a guy that posted a video the other day, and he's like tearing apart a brand new Lambo. and it's all about him just like trying to see, he's like fiddling with everything in the car, you know. It's like, here's something, he grabs that and he twists this and he bends that back and forth, he's yanking on this thing, and he's trying to see how much of the car he can just pull apart with his bare hands without any tools whatsoever. And he is literally like just shredding this Lambo, and it's like, oh my god, like this is like, you know, this supercar that everybody wants, and he kind of makes it look like it's like a piece of crap, because he's like popping out the vents and he's ripping like big parts out of the engine, just throwing them on the floor. He's like, look, see, here's another one. You know, like I'm sure Lamborghini was probably like, oh god, like this isn't good. Like, this is a bad video. But anyway, it's pretty wild if you see it. Like I said, I had reposted it on my channel, and I just thought it was really funny because, you know, in crypto, everybody's always like, hey, you got to get the Lambo. Yeah, get the you know, BitBoy got his Lambo, and then it got stolen by one of his coworkers or whoever.
You know, I felt bad for him when his company got taken from him. Right? I became somewhat sympathetic to it on principle. But then he really pissed me off because apparently somebody asked him about JASMY in his live stream. And this really irritates me because if somebody asks me, I do AMAs all the time at the end of my streams and stuff like that. And I talk to people and they ask me what my thoughts are on projects and stuff like that, right? Now, if I don't know anything about a project, if I haven't done any research into it, I'll go briefly. I'll look at the tokenomics. I'll look at, you know, kind of loosely what they are. Are they a layer one? Are they an Oracle? Whatever, right? Like, you know, what's their market cap? All that stuff. They seem okay. Well, they seem okay, right? But I will also say, if I don't know anything about the project, say, look, I don't have an opinion on that project because I haven't done any research into it, right? I can't offer you a reasonable opinion on it. I can't just be throwing shit out there, right? Like, just condemning or you know, praising this project I know absolutely nothing about. So someone asked him about it, and he just, no, that's a scam. And it's just like, are you serious? Like, what do you even know about the project, dude?
Nothing at all.
To me, that is incredibly irresponsible.
Yeah.
Right. Like I do have a moral code on my channel where, and I tell my people this all the time. I say, look, you will never see me on my channel fighting another project. If I don't like it, you'll never hear me fight it. I'll never sit here and bash it and call it down. Hey, the worst I'll say is, you know what, it's not something I would be interested in buying, you know, and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the way I guess I just look at things at a broader perspective, and it's that other people are investing their hard-earned money into this project because they believe in it. Right. And it's irresponsible for me with a platform to go out there and bash this project and try to convince other people not to support this project because I'm actively now trying to cost other people money. Right. People don't understand the consequences of their actions sometimes. Right. So I just tend to be a little more responsible with my platform. And I'm just like, if I don't like it, I'll say, you know what, something I probably wouldn't buy any of it. It's not my kind of thing. Right.
Yeah.
But to sit there and just call something a scam I've never even looked into, it's mind blowing. The ignorance. Right?
Well, the funny thing with that is that, you know, he's got however many millions of followers, arguably had probably the biggest YouTube crypto related channel that was out there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a history of him just dogging on the audience by marketing crap to them, pure garbage. And, you know, it came out at one point, he was charging $40,000 for him to market your coin, whatever it was. And he'd go on there and talk about it, you know, he'd put it out there. And so anyway, I honestly don't know if he ever truly or does have any idea what he's doing on there. I mean, if anything, he's ambitious, right? He's very ambitious, and he took something from nothing and he created a channel, whatever. But you know, I mean, the guy's got like at least 4 felonies, if not more. I've seen 4 mugshots. I know that. Um, you got him leaving his wife and kids for the lady Cassie came to work for him. Now he's an MMA fighter with a new Cassie tattoo on his bicep. By the way, that was a good look, or maybe it was his pec. Might be. Yeah, new Cassie tattoo. But anyway, it's kind of like, I not to dog on like a lawn guy or something like that, or my garbage man, but I wouldn't ask my garbage man for stock picks. Likewise, I wouldn't go to Bitcoin for crypto picks. you know.
Have you seen Iron Man 3?
Probably a long time ago.
The guy that plays the bad guy, he does these videos on they do these videos threatening the president and all this stuff, and
okay.
The Mandarin or whatever, right? And it turns out it's this actor, right? And the real bad guy is paying this actor guy to be on film and make these videos, terrorist videos or whatever, right?
Okay.
But really, when Iron Man meets him, he's actually this complete imbecile who just reads whatever he's told to read on camera. That's Bitboy.
Yeah, really what it sounded like you were just talking about Jeffrey Epstein. That's like Epstein also.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes. Just a complete moron that just reads whatever they tell him to read. He's a host that doesn't know anything about what he's talking about at the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Whenever I would see him before, I was more interested in him like he'd be like pounding this Monster Energy drink. And I'd be thinking, wow, he's going to like spin off the planet, and then he'd be like, the next 18 videos are him like driving, speeding in his car. And you can tell he's all roided out, it's like,
Take my financial advice.
Yeah, exactly. You're not financial advice, guys, but hey, you should all buy Ben token. Huh. Okay.
It's going to explode.
Yeah, it's going straight up, right? Oh yeah, okay. In the JASMY community, there was a token like that caught on for a little while. The Mong or whatever, Mong token, MONG. And it was kind of the same thing, that it was some influencer on Twitter got behind it, and it was something like, he did a video, like his Lambo in the background, and he was like, yeah, see this Lambo? You guys, I'm all in. I'm gonna sell it and put it all in Mong. And it's like, for somebody who doesn't know anything, they watch it and go, oh my God, he's selling his Lambo for Mong. And it's like, okay, so first of all, that's a rental. He's in a parking lot at Walmart filming a video. Like, none of this is real, and you think it is, and you're going, that's it, I'm getting in, and you get in, and that's what's known as exit liquidity, because then he's getting out.
Yeah.
If he was ever in to begin with,
Oh man. Yeah, it's crazy how irresponsible some people are, right? And then they, like you said, they do it for money, and then what kind of lifestyle do they live, right? Like you said, they're all roided out on coke and driving around, speeding, getting felonies and stuff.
Yeah, there was a project that reached out to me at one point, a crypto project, and I had done a video on them just because I wanted to, right? Because it piqued my interest, kind of like you were saying. I was like, well, let me look into this, see if it's any good, whatever. And they were telling me how they had paid one of the big influencers on Twitter $80,000 to talk about it. And the account kind of like half-assed talked about it, and they paid him 80 grand. And what was really interesting about that was the guy that I was talking to on this whole thing, he was based in California, fancy area. I looked him up and everything. And he even told me when I was talking to him, he's like, I got a $50 million house, this and that and whatever. It was all true, right? And so the point is that, these accounts, you think they're just kind of jokingly talking about this thing or that thing or whatever. Well, that account made 80 grand off of that project. What else are they making,
Well, that's just it. Yeah. And like you said, it goes back to what Ben was charging people, right?
Yeah.
Just ridiculous amounts of money. Personally, I don't do any sponsored videos at all.
Yeah.
Just like I get emails every day. I wake up to emails. I actually got one from Decent Wallet this morning.
Okay.
To one from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get them all the time, right? But I don't do them because I only generally talk about projects that I myself am in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's safer that way, right? That way, like I'm not going to talk. The only time I talk about a project that I'm not in or not interested in is if somebody in the chat asks me, "Hey, man, like, what do you think of this project?" kind of thing, right? But
Yeah.
but yeah, like I'm not just like I don't do that. This too risky, way too risky, right?
Well, think about it like this. I mean, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a day to burn it down, right? So if you're telling your followers to buy something that's pure crap that you yourself don't even buy,
Yeah,
and you're going to lose all credibility like really quick, right?
yeah,
So you don't ever want to be in that boat, you know. At the same time, though, I mean, I think what some people don't understand is for somebody who wants to be like a full-time YouTuber or whatever, you got to make money somehow, right? And so sometimes you do have to have, like a sponsored video, whether the whole video is sponsored by that company or just one little segment. Like there's a lot of channels out there they'll just say, "Hey, this video is sponsored by ABC Coffee," and
yeah,
use my code. You can go to ABC Coffee and put it in there and get 20% off. Okay, cool, whatever.
yeah,
But they're telling you it is. See, the problem with BitBoy is he never told anyone ever.
yeah.
You know,
This
it,
is a great project.
honestly, I mean, the feds should have come after him, and maybe they still will on some of those things, but maybe not since his whole life's in shambles. But that was his problem, is he never disclosed any of it, and all of them are like that. George, Wendy, all these accounts that don't know anything at all. They are
Yeah,
all like that.
yeah,
And most of them, Ivan on Tech, they've never shared any of that stuff in any of their videos. That somebody paid like 40 grand for me to talk about this.
yeah,
They don't tell anyone that.
yeah. Buy this project because I hold some. Yeah, you hold some because they paid you in their token to talk about them.
Yeah,
You didn't.
yeah. There's a
How
lot of
much
that too.
how much of your money did you put into it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Let's check out some of these comments. Crypto Goddess says the way I look at things it's either way I know for a fact I'll make way more money this bull run than literally throw your money into anything and you'll make I mean, listen, yes, at the end of the day, when it comes to altcoins, I would always encourage you to do your research, but at the end of the day, let's just cut through the crap cake in here and say in an altcoin season, in a real altcoin season, you could pretty much put a blindfold on and throw a dart at the wall and hit an altcoin that's going to run. It's just a matter of how much is that altcoin going to run, right? And
Yeah.
is it a rug pull, right? So
yeah, risk, right?
yeah. So bedtime here in NL. Good luck, guys. GL guys. Okay. Awesome. Well, have a good night. You definitely be straight with those coins. Okay, I don't know what that means. The SEC has nothing better to do. Well, they do have things better to do. They're just not doing them. Let me see. Hello, guys. Pleasure to see you both again.
Thank you.
How many JASMY wallets are out there?
It's like 65, 66,000 technically.
Yeah.
But that's not really true. So when you see the number on Etherscan, it says 65, 66,000. That also includes all the exchanges that basically everybody on the exchange is kind of like in one wallet. So,
so you're saying Binance is counted, all the accounts on Binance that hold JASMY is just one wallet, but it's actually thousands of people.
Yes. Yeah. So when you're looking at like Binance 8, Binance 20, Binance 14, yes.
Oh, so it's actually far more than that. That's manipulative. I feel
it's very manipulative. If you didn't know that, you'd be like, what? But that's how it works. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. JASMY Sony partnership, and we're mooning to $1 overnight. I love the optimism.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, I had somebody, one of the big guys in the space, send me something the other day about. I think it was talking about Sony, and there was like multiple kind of aspects that were sort of touching on JASMY and like the NCCC, different things in JASMY were kind of like touch points in this particular article, and the article actually mentioned a star in it. Kind of weird, you know, like again, if it was America, I'd say, yeah, not related. But in Japan, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Could
Yeah.
be, you know?
There's something else I wanted to ask you about, but I'll do that a little bit later. And that's in regards to the, what are they called? That's in regards to the, actually, there's two other things. There's two things regarding to Jasmine I want to talk to you about. One is the new partnership. I don't know if you saw it. But anyway, the main one I was going to talk to you about a little bit later is actually the the JASM facility in Japan there.
Mm-hmm. Semiconductors, right?
Semiconductors. Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that in a little bit. Yeah. What else do we got going on here? XRP will be the next. Oh, we looked at that already.
Yay.
Jasmy scam. Ha 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 ha. That's a. I don't know if you're aware, but it's like a theme on mine and Max's channels in the chat. Jasmy scam. The running joke.
Yeah.
Some guy commented on my video yesterday. He said, "Scam coin." I said, "I know, man. Fuck, it scammed me into like 750% gain since the bottom. Damn these bastards."
You know what's interesting about the whole scam coin thing is I had somebody reach out to me. This is well over a year ago, probably a year and a half ago. And he was in, I think he was in China. And he and I kind of started talking, and you know, he couldn't really grasp everything I was saying in English, you know, so we kind of went back and forth though for a while. And he was like, yeah, you know, I really want to send you some good luck or something like that. And I was like, all right, sure, whatever, you know. And he actually sent me here, hold on. So he sent me a, let's see if you can see that. It's like a Buddha from China, right?
Wow.
And he sent me like multiple canisters of tea that I was like, holy crap, like that is amazing, right? And
Wow.
the funny thing in this story is that later, like publicly, I would see the account and he'd always be like, Jasmy scam coin, you know. And I was like, I thought you invested in Jasmy, and I think he did, but maybe the translation's a little funny somewhere, right? So,
he might
so like in English, it looks like this person's like, you know, a fudder, but that's not necessarily true. It's like somebody who actually owns it, but maybe they don't know English very well, and they're talking, you know. It was weird, man. The tea was really good, though. I gotta say, the tea was excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
Haas, how are you doing, buddy? Haas says, hey guys, hope all is well. Go Jasmy.
Go Jasmy.
Okay, I don't know what that means. I must have missed that part of the conversation. H Barbarina says, hi, did you hear something about the billion tokens lost in space? We got lost. We talked about that. We talked about that a little bit earlier, brother. Maybe watch the playback later and kind of hear what we had to say on the missing billion, the case of the missing billion.
Oh, this is funny. Fighting to lose since 1934. Awesome. That's pretty accurate, actually.
Merchandise coming soon.
XCN. What is XCN? That sounds familiar.
It's a fairly new project, I think.
I would have to look into that one. I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, it's a decent project. I've looked a little bit into it. I need to know more. So,
what's it about?
I think that it is a. Hang on, I'll bring it up. Actually, Bring it up. Yeah. It is. Onyx coin. Yeah.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, $75 million market cap. 48 billion supply, 27 in circulation.
Go up there and click on markets. Let's see where it's at. Scroll down a little bit. It's right below that chart. Where'd it go?
Or over here.
Oh no, sorry, it's up top. It's at the top. There you go.
What?
Next overview, markets. So it's on KuCoin. Oh, it's on Coinbase. Look at that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Gate.io, Kraken, BitTrue. I use BitTrue. Uniswap. Yeah, its all-time high was in the bull run, 18 cents. What do they do? That's the question, right? Oh, liquidity pool. That's right. That's right. I look into so many of these. It's hard to remember. You know, I probably look at 30 or 40 per stream, right?
Right. Go to their all-time chart. Can you show that?
Looks like JASMY.
Yeah, it kind of does in a way, right? So does it have potential? Sure. I mean, it's on Coinbase. Maybe. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's been around too long either. You know, the thing with a chart like this is if you look at it and you don't have any context, you look at that and you go, boy, that looks terrible, right? But if you put a little context with it and you say, well, wait a minute, how are all the other coins doing at that same time? Pretty similar, actually, right?
Well, yeah, if you look, this was 2022, which was we spent the whole year going down the whole market, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of par, like you said, with the whole year of 2022, pretty much, yeah, bottomed out in the beginning of 2023. Yeah, this was like the beginning of the bear market, like the gradual fall down, right? So
yeah. See, now one like this is a little tricky to guess a price because you don't really have a previous cycle to go by, right? Mm-hmm. And usually, at least historically, a lot of these on the previous cycle, they could go for maybe triple what they did in the previous peak, let's say. So like for a lot of these coins that, you know, went like 90% down, there's a massive upside with them, right? Now, one like this, though, I don't really know the backstory of why it's where it is. But, you know, even if it's only trading at 0.002, you know, I mean, a 10x is what, like 2 cents? So, I mean, hey, it's crypto. And, you know, really you need stuff that has easy on-ramp, off-ramp, and easy access, right? Like that's another good thing with JASMY that, you know, has been really appealing is, I mean, it's listed like everywhere. The coins, with the exception of Robinhood, it's everywhere, right? And so with this one having all the markets that it does it have that easy exit liquidity if you wanted to? It appears so. So it's interesting that the market cap's only 75 million. I mean, that's nothing in crypto. That's like absolutely nothing. So there could be a huge upside on something like this. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look into that more.
Especially since it is a utility token, right? So
yeah.
I mean, should be, you know, I'm fairly leaning towards the bullish side on it. But again, just like Jesse, I like to do a little more of a deep dive. Details matter, right?
Yeah.
Crypto boy, what's up, buddy? Funky action, huh? How you doing, buddy? I know I've made it when I have trust fund for my family. Fair enough. Sounds super stupid thing to do.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Sorry, wife and kids. We need a Lambo.
Yeah. You know, it kind of reminds me of there was a show on HBO. What was it? Eastbound and Down with Kenny Powers, where he's like this baseball pitcher or whatever. Yeah. And they had a really great episode where you know, he's kind of like down in the dumps and he's trying to get out of this funk. And he goes out and he buys like a $85,000 Viper or something like that, right? And he goes peeling down the road, and then the next scene they show him, he's screaming at his sidekick like, "Why'd you let me buy this car?" You know, but he looks cool.
You're feeling in my plums.
What
do we
under
got?
2 cents.
Honestly, for me, I'm looking at it like this, guys. I've been looking at personally, this is just a rough bull flag based on the wicks. And we're still inside of it on the daily, right? And I've been saying for a few days now that I think we're going to ping pong inside of this bull flag on the daily for another, probably at least another week, right? Been saying that for 2 or 3 days now. So I think, yeah, I think we'll see us pull back down probably around 1.8, 1.9. I think we're going to ping pong. I mean, who knows? Saturday, the the roadmap could be mega bullish news, and we could see the price pump. Right? That's possible too. So
It's possible.
Yeah. Again, moving targets. Probably wrote it off with their taxes. I'd rather give it to needy and off my taxes.
It's funny.
You're not giving money that you would have spent on a Lambo to the needy. Don't lie. Come on.
Yeah, you know what's funny is, I don't know about you, Rob, but the older I get, the less I want stuff and the more I want freedom, right? Like that's kind of where I'm at. Is it's like, I don't really care about things. What I want is the financial freedom of simply I can do what I want when I want to do it with whoever's available, right? I think that's a lot more appealing than a car. Now, granted, it is a pretty cool car. Now, I would say this: if you were going to buy one, get one used, right? Like what's the? I think Dave Ramsey said something about, if you're going to buy a car, buy it 4 years old, buy it used. I don't know if that holds up 100% with a Lambo, but it might, because typically with any car, I mean, the moment you drive it off the lot, it just plummets in value, right? Now, maybe like a Tesla is a little bit different, something that maintains long term, and maybe a Lambo would be a little bit different, but overall, it's kind of like I would rather take that money and put it in a sure thing and then keep making money off of it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm at a point as well in my life where, like, my son's turning 4 next month, right? And yeah, I'm in a position where I would rather buy the ability to spend every day hanging out with him, and just teaching him and watching him grow and watch his interests and nurture what he's interested in. That's what I would rather, buy.
Yeah.
The time to be able to do that, the freedom to be able to do that, I should say, right? That's what I'm targeting,
Yeah, I think I view it kind of like this, and this is kind of what you're saying in a way, is that time is more valuable than a car, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%, man. I guess you got to start getting to our age before you start to realize that, though, right?
Yeah.
What else do we got? Get back is the way. Go back.
Oh, that must be BitBoy right there. I know what she's talking about there. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one.
What do we got?
Yeah, there you go.
Tommy, chat. Does anyone still think I'll be able to buy understand? Maybe it's possible, man. I'm pulling for you. Maybe early midweek. Get paid Friday. I think I'll be able to buy it for 3 cents. When JASMY gets to $1, people will be asking if it's a good time to buy. You know what I'm looking forward to? If JASMY gets to $1, what I'm going to find comical is watching all of the panic while everyone tries to sell at the same time.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be getting so many messages from people. What's going on? Why won't my orders fill?
It could happen. You never know.
Yeah, everyone's going to be running. I remember when I was holding Sheeb in the last bull run. Yeah, when they were going parabolic.
Yeah.
I had to stagger my way out because you put in a sell order and it just doesn't fill, right?
Right.
And I try to tell people that all the time. I say, like, guys, over on our member side, I tell them, like, if you're holding 5 million JASMY and you're waiting for, let's say, $1, and then you put in a sell order for 5 million JASMY at $1, well, there has to be someone at the other end that wants to buy 5 million JASMY for $1.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And I think that concept gets lost on people because there's a middleman, and you don't actually converse with whomever's buying your crypto. So especially with newer people, it kind of feels like they think the exchange is buying the tokens back from them at a higher value.
Nope.
I wish.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Coinbase, buy my coins.
give me 5 million. I gave you $1,000. Give me 5 million.
Come on, Coinbase, fill my order.
It's funny, but it's true at the same time. Is there's people that get into crypto and without doing any research, and they have no concept of that. For every seller, there's got to be a buyer, and that's why I try to tell people. I don't know about you, but I try to tell people, especially if this is their first bull run, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I don't need help. I don't need guidance. I'll just sell it all at $1." And it's not going to be as easy as you think that it is, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
you need a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you can always get in that point of you do sell, right? And then it starts going again, and you're going, God, why did I sell?
Yeah, that's going to be a big one this bull run because it's so different, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing people calling for an abbreviated bull run that's supposed to peak in December, right? But I'm not seeing a lot of people actually looking into the I guess the deep dive, so to speak, right? They're like, oh, well, we're ahead of where we should be. We're ahead. So, we are, but we aren't, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is, but if you look at all of the other indicators, like you and I talked about before, you look at, I think we talked about, you look at Google Trends, if you look at YouTube searches for crypto, if you look at Google searches for crypto, it's still way down where it was in the last 4-year cycle at this time.
Yeah.
Right. All these statistics are still down. So, same thing with searches on X and stuff like that. So it's like we're ahead on Bitcoin because of the ETFs, but I think that it's starting to it's misleading a lot of people. And because of that, a lot of people are going to get wrecked because their timing is going to be just off.
Could be. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people. They're already starting to talk about, again, an abbreviated cycle ending in December. So a lot of people are going to be selling in December. And if we stay true to the traditional 4-year cycle in terms of everything else besides Bitcoin, well, then we're looking at near the end of Q2 of next year. You're selling in December.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, trying to time the market is an impossible task. I mean, you can try, and obviously there's some traders that are better at it than others, and it's definitely a skill, but even the ones that are better, they're not perfect 100% of the time. They never are. The thing that I always found was that, especially with like Bitcoin, like if you've ever watched like the Bitcoin conference that they do every year, they get all these people up on stage, these like pseudo, I wouldn't even call them celebrities. They're just sort of like talking heads from the Bitcoin space that, now they're on stage, right? There's never anybody that's like, man, I traded my way to millions with this thing, like that person isn't there, right? Yeah, maybe he's the GameStop kid, but he's not at the Bitcoin conference, right? Like all the people that are at the Bitcoin conference are just sort of like, yeah, you know, it was like 2012 and I bought it and I just happen to still have it. And that's it. That's all they did. You know, like there is no great grand plan. You know, they didn't know it was going to where it is now. You know, they had no clue. They just simply bought it and they're like, yeah, who'd have thunk it? Here I am on stage, Bitcoin 2024, you know.
Mad skills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Told you all, told you it was going to happen. Whatever, you know.
Well, I always tell my people, like, look, whatever project you're in, whether it's JASMY, KASPA, whatever it is, XRP, whatever, have your price points ahead of time to where you think that the price is going to go, right? If you think JASMY is going to go to $1, for example, right, then you should be lathering your way out as you work your way up. You pick your price points. This is how I do it anyway. I pick my price points. So if I think it's going to $1, okay, well, guess what? At 46 cents, I'm probably going to sell 10%, right? And then again, at 57 cents, I'll sell another 10%, and I'll work my way all the way up. That way, if it stops and goes back down, at least I got some profits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, if it gets to $1 and you've worked your way all the way out, then you've reached your goal. And if it continues to pump after that, you shouldn't give a crap because you reached your goal. And that's what you should hang your hat on at the end of the day, because otherwise this market will destroy you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the number one financial goal for anybody, so everybody on this call, me, you, all of us, is to live your life as close to overhead free as possible. That's the goal, right? And so if you can achieve that, whatever the price is, whatever your investment was, then you've hit the home run, and everything after that's gravy, you know?
No, exactly. I agree 100% with that. Yeah. Simplify it, right? Really simplify it.
Yeah.
Less is more, basically. Pop-Tart Eater, did JASMY lockup start, or is that a bug? We talked about it. I go back and watch the first half of the stream because we talked quite a bit about it. And the end result, to give you a spoiler, is that at this point in time, we don't know, right? We theorized as to what it is. So go back and check out our theories and stuff like that. But so far, there still has not been an answer one way or another. So the investigation continues.
Ooh, my prediction this bull run. I don't know. You know, my predictions kind of got blown out of the water, to be honest.
Thanks, JASMY.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, well, let's see here. So way back months ago, I looked at it. I like doing the Cardano comparison, right? So I looked at it months ago, and in relation to Cardano, it was kind of like 25 cents. Right now, that was months ago. That was before this huge run up that happened recently. And I've said all along that the further up we can push baseline prior to the real run, the better, right? And if you look at the all-time chart, it's still basically flat right now. So it really hasn't done anything yet. And it's, you know, floating above 2 cents. So again, with the Cardano comparison, I remember everyone talking about that one going to $10. And at the time, I thought that was all complete crap. I thought there's no way. There's no way. There are too many coins. There's no way. Never going to happen in a million years. And it went above $3. Okay. So, you know, if you think about that was that run, and I think that run peaked at over 3 trillion invested, right? My rough guess on this run is this could be like a $10 trillion run. And you look at the BlackRock money and everything else behind it. So is it possible that Jasmy could do like, God, like $2 or $3. I don't know. I mean, I really don't. I mean, at first, you know, when we were talking with Max about this, and he said, I think it's going to $1. And I thought, Max, you're smoking crack.
I think your exact words were no chance.
Exactly. Yeah. I no chance, you know. but you know, the moment you ended the video, it like lit the wick and off it went, you know. So, you know, famous last words, it'll never happen, and then it does it, right?
Fuck me, I guess, right?
Yeah. So in terms of a Jasmy prediction, I mean, it again, if this baseline starts getting up there, if it starts getting, you know, 2 cents to 5 cents to 5 to 10 to 10 to 20 to 20 to 30, 20, 30 to 50, right? It moves in bigger increments the higher it goes.
Yeah.
It doesn't move in like fractions of a penny anymore. You know, it's going to be moving in big amounts. We've already seen other cryptos do it. So why not this one? And you know, when Cardano did it, it wasn't on Robinhood, right? People were just buying it on Binance and Coinbase primarily. Jasmy's on both of those. Even with Cardano, you know, I always said that you know, nothing was live. Like the whole thing is kind of like an idea with a million college papers around it, right? And so Jasmy does actually have some real products, but at the end of the day, do the real products even matter, or is it just the potential that everybody's getting in on, right? I think honestly, if you have something that catches fire good enough, then it's possible. Now, the Cardano thing isn't the norm, but you know, even like Solana last run did a huge run. Solana did, and so why not Jasmy is kind of the better question of why not? Why couldn't it? Right? Like, I feel like there's historical precedent for other coins that had less going for them, you know?
Well, have a look here at KASPA. I'm just using it as an example. I like KASPA. We're not, you know, but KASPA at the end of the day, right now, is in the exact same position Cardano was in the last 4-year cycle. No smart contracts. Nobody's building on there. They're just kind of there, you know,
Yeah.
just kind of there. And everyone's saying, FUD. Market cap is $3.375 billion. Why can't Jasmy do that? Right?
Yeah. And remember what I was saying about the total market going to 10 trillion, right? So if BlackRock and the Bitcoin ETFs lift all boats, if Jasmy goes up with Bitcoin because of Bitcoin pairs, everything goes up or down with Bitcoin because of Bitcoin pairs. So if Bitcoin's going up because of all this investment and everything else goes up with it, then why couldn't it do some of these like meteoric type rises? And I get the argument of people that say, oh, look at the market cap. It would be insanely high, right? It would. I agree. It would be insanely high. And I'd be looking at it going, oh my God, I remember when this was in the millions, you know? Yeah. But, you know, I remember the last run looking at coins like Cardano, some of the other ones at the time that had done very well. And I remember looking at them when they were completely flat, just like Jasmy is, right? Just like Jasmy has been. Just like that XCN was completely flat, you know? And I remember looking at those thinking, God, if I had been able to get in at the bottom there with all those people, but it must have been miserable at the bottom. Yes, it's been miserable at the bottom with Jasmy. I mean, it's been awful, right? 2 years of being completely miserable. Like, are we ever going to do any moves here? But you know, maybe things are waking up across the board. And the best thing that Jasmy has going for it right now is that DWF Labs, the market maker. It is the same market maker that Fetch has, FET, and Fetch has been on fire It's because of the market maker. It's not because of Fetch, you know? So JASMY has that same group behind them, you know?
Exactly. A lot of potential. Thoughts on Swift? I honestly, I'm super bullish on Swift. I'm still doing a lot of research on it. I know Max is calling it the XRP of China. I got to do more digging, but I've already started buying it, so that tells you everything you need to know, right?
Interesting. Swift.
So, yeah. So I'm bullish on it. You haven't done any looking into it, eh?
No, I'm a little behind at the moment.
Max did a really good about a 37-minute deep dive video on it the other day. I would say go watch that if you want to know what it is. He's, Max. He's so thorough, that guy.
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
So, what's the news about JASMY lockup? They're going to be around on X saying one bill already locked up. Scroll to go to the beginning of the video. Jesse and I talk about that missing billion already. We give our theories on that. We already covered this. Proppy, yes, I do like Proppy. Do you know much about the real estate projects, Jesse?
I don't know that one. No.
Okay, so it's a decent one. It's a decent one. I don't own any or anything. But
so a property crypto project.
Yeah, so essentially they're basically just to simplify it. Think of one house or one property as one Bitcoin. You can buy satoshis of that property and get that percentage of profits from the property.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a really neat idea.
It helps you get into real estate without, all the complication. If you don't have enough money, kind of thing.
It's like an REIT, but in crypto, basically. Yeah.
Solana, you got thoughts on Solana?
Solana, going back in time, was SBF's baby, right? He was a big proponent of Solana, and FTX owned a lot of Solana. And as far as I'm aware, I think they had been dumping a ton of it to pay back all their creditors, right? Because my hunch with SBF is they want to be able to pay back all the creditors and then say, see, he didn't really do anything wrong, and then they'll get him out of jail early, right?
That'll work.
Yeah. They'll say something about how weird he is that he can't be there or whatever. So anyway, I remember Solana. Man, I reviewed Solana years ago in 50,000 TPS with Solana, and that's great. And in the time since, it's kind of developed the ecosystem more. It got the NFTs. Solana. It, by all accounts, it's kind of entered, I think, that echelon of the bigger crypto chains, right? Solana has. And so what it doesn't have going for it at the moment was the FTX selling and all that. Now, with all that done potentially or nearly done or however close they are, could it go on a run this next bull run? Definitely, because it's more of like a household name than it was in the prior cycle, So I have heard about issues with Solana, with the chain having errors or going down and things like that. I don't know if people understand that aspect of it, that these blockchains, they're not always perfect. Sometimes it's kind of like a computer that sort of needs to be restarted, or there's a bug or some issue along the way and it's just not working correctly. I ran into that a lot of times with Ethereum, where it's hung up one day for some reason. Nobody knows. It's just not quite working right. Is it the network's clogged? Not really sure. There's a million things that it might be, but no one's really knows for certain. And so with Solana, supposedly they had a few like network type bug / crash things. But overall, and I think it's on Robinhood now. Again, like I was telling you before, it's like, you made it if you're on Robinhood in crypto. I think it's in there. Let's see.
I don't even know if it shows Robinhood on the crypto.
Yeah, I don't know if it does either.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
But either way, I mean, look at all those exchanges, right? I mean, it's everywhere. So again, one of the things of a coin that can take off is access to it, and there's plenty of access all over the place.
Yeah, I agree. I think that my only issue with Solana, and it's not an issue that would keep me from buying it or anything, but it's just kind of like I don't know, call it a cheap shot, a jab, whatever you want to call it, but they're not decentralized.
Right. True.
Yeah. Like
and I'm pretty sure they had an ICO also, which could put them in the crosshairs of the SEC. That's true.
Yeah. Like they're not, like anyone who wants to argue with me about it, at the end of the day, their network goes down and somebody fixes it.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. And I want to say way back when I reviewed this, again, this is years ago, but I'm pretty sure they were US based, which is kind of weird for crypto because, I mean, there are a few of them here that were US based. Like I think Algo was one, and maybe HBAR. There's a few other ones.
Yeah.
But that it's kind of rare overall in the space.
Yeah, I don't mind Solana at the end of the day. Good work, JASMY team. This weekend will be huge. Yeah, looking forward to that roadmap, eh?
Yeah. LCX. I do not own it. I did the review on it, and I wanted to use the exchange, and I couldn't use the exchange. And at that time, as I recall, I don't think it was on Coinbase yet. So no, I actually do not own LCX, but a lot of potential in LCX. I have always liked the exchange tokens of good exchanges, right? Like I think there is a lot of potential in those, like when VGX went down in flames, that killed me because I was like, there was so much potential here, and they didn't need to do what they did, but they rushed straight into bankruptcy court and tanked the entire project. Just killed me. But there's a lot of potential in the exchange tokens. Like obviously BNB has the greatest market share, but some of the up and coming smaller exchanges have a lot of potential. There was another really good one that I looked at in Europe. It was it's like CCBDX or something like that. I know I did a review on it. They have like their own channel that's like got these really well produced videos, like it's a TV show. That one was really good too, and I really like that one. I couldn't buy it either, which was annoying.
Yeah, I know Crow's another one that's going to be pretty big.
Yeah. Now Crow, you do have access to here in the U.S. You can get that in the U.S. and if you're worldwide, obviously you can get it.
Beebs, JASMY, not a scam. You want to answer that one first, or
monthly or quarterly? I don't know if anyone knows what that looks like. I mean, we know when they want to start it. And if I was a business and I had other businesses that said they're interested, would I then lock them up monthly or quarterly? It's almost like saying to BlackRock, would you lock up Bitcoin monthly or quarterly? Well, they're going to lock it up daily, right? Yeah. So we don't really know. I mean, it's just kind of speculation. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I look at Ripple. And Ripple, while they have the escrow, it's kind of the reverse, right? Okay. But they, at the end of every month, they are able to remove some from their escrow and then put as much as they want back in, right? And that's a monthly thing. So
yeah,
it's possible they might do something opposite to that. But
well, think of this though. What you're talking about is an escrow account, right? Mm-hmm. BlackRock is is handled by Coinbase. It's on exchange.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So remember when you talked about JASMY partnering with exchanges, if it's on exchange, could it follow the BlackRock route? Maybe, right? It would, if you have somebody else to facilitate it that could do it on a daily basis, then yeah, go that route. But if you don't, then maybe it makes more sense to go monthly or quarterly or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, an interesting thing that was asked of me last night is, are we going to be able to track the current TVL or whatever is locked up as a whole when the PDL launches? And that's going to, as of right now, obviously we don't have an answer to that, right? But that would be interesting.
I would hope so. That's a good question. So that's kind of like in your traditional standard blockchain project, they have blockchain stats, and you can exactly see things like that. That's the kind of thing that I would ask the JASMY team to do. And I don't know if they would understand what I'm asking. So, so yes, it would be great if we could do that, but I don't know if they would understand that. Truthfully, I don't know.
What else do we got here? Let's see if there's any questions. Market cap $1 billion. Yeah, one billion. Coinbase talking about there will be problems signing in. There's always problems with Coinbase lately. Like, it seems like every week they're having problems, or should I say excuses at this point, right?
Yeah. The pipe's only so big.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And you're the guy that works at the bar, right?
Yes.
Funny.
Here's one for you.
What percentage? You too, Rob. That's a good question. I think it depends on how high it really kind of goes. You know, what kind of, like, where it kind of rests at it, if at any point in this run. You know, the way I view things like this is kind of like, first of all, do you believe in the project? Yes or no? And if you do, then there's nothing wrong with leaving some of your investment in it. If you don't, then yeah, get all your money out of it at some point, right? The catch, though, is that at least here in the US, when you sell, that's a taxable event, right? And you're going to be taxed on it. And so you got to be thinking about that anytime you're selling. You know, I think about that all the time, honestly, with people that are day trading. Their taxes have to be a complete nightmare. Trying to calculate all that. It's got to be awful. And I do my own taxes, all right? I've always done my own taxes. So doing your own taxes for crypto is a complete nightmare. And so I guess what I'm getting at is I like to buy, sell. Well, I like to sell in as few of transactions as possible. And if I'm going to be selling, it's because, like we were talking about earlier, I'm going to be accomplishing a goal. I'm not just going to be kind of half-assed, gunslinging, selling, see what happens, whatever, and whatever. We didn't accomplish anything. No. Like, I'm looking at it more so like I want to hit some goals. If we hit those goals, then the rest of it honestly could ride for a while. Now, you know, the thing in crypto is if in the bear cycle you're going 90% down, then do you really want to sell it all? Maybe you do, right? You know, I've seen that argument before with Bitcoin that's like you really would be better off selling it at or near the top and then buying somewhere in those down years is when you're buying, right? So if you think about it like that, I mean, you're buying on the red days, you're selling on the green days. I mean, you could do that. But I've always kind of got taxes in the back of my mind of I would like to avoid as many tax scenarios as possible, you know?
Yeah. Well, I get it. I get what you're saying. I think for me, it kind of depends on the higher the price goes, obviously, the less I'm going to sell because the less I would need to sell, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think it would be nice to hold to continue to hodl at least uh 50% of my bag, for the next cycle. And this is why the thing is that there's a lot of people that have been asking me lately, like, because and Hara said this, and I'm just like, oh, I wish he didn't say that, right? He said that they're anticipating that the bear market will not affect them as bad because of the PDL and the lockup and all that kind of stuff, right? So they'll
Hmm.
be resilient against the bear market. And so now that's got everyone saying, oh, it's not going to go down in the bear market, right? And I'm like, no, 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 no. It's still, people are still going to sell and take their profits.
Yeah.
I understand the concept behind what Hara was saying. Don't take that as a prediction and not sell and not take your profits and stuff like that, right? Because you're going to be very angry if you think this 2 years was tough.
Yeah.
You do another four, right?
Yeah. I know. Another 4 years. God, that sounds like an eternity. I don't know if I can make it another 4 years.
Yeah, I wish he hadn't have said it in the way that he did. I think people misunderstood what he meant, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it's not going down. It's immune. It's as
Well, I mean, he's
immune."
basically just saying they want to build long term value and they think they can do that whether it's bull or bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
Jasmy's immune to the bear market now.
Yeah. Jasmine will be hitting $1 this year. I'm hoping Jasmine goes to like $2 to $3. Okay. Again, you know, the Cardano talk was $10, $10, $10, $10, and went for over three. It did a third of it, right? So I don't really want to say $1 and we go for 30 cents. I want like, $5, $10 and we go for like $2, $3. Put it that way.
Yeah, whenever I give price targets to people, I always am conservative because, like, if I think Jasmine's going to go to $3, I tell them it's going to go to $1 because that way, if it goes to three, I'm a hero. Or sorry, I'm like, they're ecstatic. But if I
Right.
say $3 and it only goes to one, I'm target practice, right?
Yeah, what you're saying is the under promise, over deliver.
Yeah,
That's it.
100%. The opposite of what BitBoy does, right?
Right.
Cardano's going to $10.
Yeah, he does do the opposite. He over promises, under delivers. Yeah.
um, Thoughts on ICP? I don't have a price prediction for ICP. I think that it could land anywhere between around 100, 125 bucks. I could see it realistically happening. Possibly. It's a great project. The team suffered in the last bull run because of Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, right? Artificially inflating the price. It's not going back. I know there's people out there right now talking about new all-time highs. I mean, come on, guys. It's not going back to $700 from, what is it right now, $15.
Can you pull up the chart on that one?
Yeah. $12. Sorry.
Go to the all time chart on it.
It's not Jasmine.
Yeah, see, I remember when this one came out, and I felt like it started like on top of Mount Everest. Like it started just way too high. It's kind of like when they do a like an initial an IPO in the stock market, and they list it too high, and then it drops like a rock, and they're like, God, like why did we list it so high? Now, to be fair though, this is, again, if you stacked it up against other coins in the same time period, it's a similar look, right? I mean, they all kind of followed similar look. But being that it's at 1290 right now, I mean, honestly, even if it did a third of where it was before, could you get a 10x out of it? Maybe. Yeah, it's possible. You know, it's crypto. And it's, again, if it's on enough exchanges and enough people can easily buy it, sell it, that's possible. But you know, something else you really need in crypto is you need like that X factor. You know, you need a little magic in that thing, a little the powder keg. We got to light the wick somewhere. And if ICP can do that, then who knows?
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, I like that meme that it's taken from The Hangover, you know, and it's all them at the gambling. They're at like the roulette table, and it's like, this is crypto, you know, and that's totally true, right? And they're like, hey, we all lost everything yesterday, but we're back, you know.
We're back, yeah. We are back, baby.
Yeah, yeah. The guy's like missing a tooth, you know.
What do we got here? Element Rage. In a recent Telegram AMA, Hara said they expect the value of an individual's platinum data to eventually double. So go from 500 to at least 1,000. Is that nuts?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Who knows? You know, nobody knows how high that number can actually go. And the 500 is just sort of a goal. Facebook's number was like $40, a little over $40, and that's Facebook. So if you could do it in a smart way, then could you get, you know, 20, 30 times the value out of it? I don't know. I don't know.
I read an interesting thing the other day that kind of, because I was looking for exactly how this PDL is going to operate, right? Because up to this point, all I've really understood is like, so you store your data in a locker and then you release your data to these companies and they pay you. But like, how does this whole process kind of work exactly, right? And then I was reading something. I think it was on, I remember what it was. Anyway, apparently one of the concepts that's being implemented into the PDL is that you would actually be able to go on, and these companies would actually put out questionnaires and surveys for you to answer on the PDL, and you'd get paid in Jasmy coin for filling them out.
Okay.
That is one way that you would be providing your data, I suppose. It's more of a targeted, them getting the exact data that they want, so to speak, right?
Yeah, that's possible. Survey. You know, there's a game I play on my phone, SimCity Build It, right? So you're building your little city, whatever. And they've got all kinds of different monetary things that you can earn for accomplishing different tasks, let's say, right? And one of the things is the dollars. And you can actually earn dollars in the game. They're not real dollars, they're like game dollars, let's say. But you can earn them from watching commercials, from taking surveys. There's all kinds of links that they have. Like they've got all kinds of vendors that it must be some sort of vendor platform somewhere. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of like Factor Meals, that's in there. The American Cancer Society. There's all these things that if you follow the link and you sign up or you do the task or you answer the quiz questions, it'll give you money in the game. And so could Jasmy be doing the same thing, but with the PDL? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, you're asking about like, is it possible? Of course it's possible. Someone's already doing it in a similar way, but not exactly, right?
Yeah. You'd just be getting paid in Jasmy coin instead, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What do we got? This doesn't necessarily have to do with belief in the project, but after the bull run tops 2025, will there be a bear market? Then Jasmy fall very sharply, especially since the recession is imminent. So you're asking if it's, yeah, I mean, Jasmy's still going to, after the run tops, will enter the bear market, and then Jasmy falls sharply, especially. Yeah, same as the same cycle is going to repeat, in my opinion. We're going to spend most of 2026 the same way we spent 2022, right? Down and to the right. You know? That's
yeah.
That's, go ahead. I was just going to say that's just the first year of a 4-year cycle. That's how it starts.
Yeah. You know, the part that I wonder is like with the Bitcoin ETFs, right? So if the Bitcoin ETFs raise all boats, then maybe next cycle, do we still have a 90% drop, or is it a 55% drop, right? Is it still at the same level? You know, you and I have talked about before about how what the Bitcoin ETFs, what it really does, the real magic behind it is if it can tap into retirement accounts, right? Because people that have retirement accounts, you think they're buying and selling those regularly? Absolutely not. They're simply just stockpiling endlessly, gathering nuts over time, right?
Yep.
And so if that same concept could apply to Bitcoin, then could that break the cycle?
To a degree.
It might. I
Yeah.
mean, it honestly might, because you know, up until now, all the buying for the most part is retail, right? Obviously, there's some big whales. There's some investment type hedge fund type stuff. I get that. But if you get into the retirement account arena, then when people are adding those assets to their retirement portfolio, they're not selling them.
But you're
They're just adding.
but you're still going to see liquidity dump out of the alts, though.
Yeah, you could see that for sure. For sure.
'Cause-
But again, if Bitcoin is the moon that influences the tides,
yeah.
then it may not be at the same level that it has been. So, you know, like this past cycle, things dropped, you know, 90%, 95%. I mean, that's like insane amount of drop. You know, like if that had happened in the stock market, the whole thing would get delisted, right? Um, but in crypto, it's like, oh yeah, it's just part of the cycle, whatever, ho hum, you know. So, I mean,
Scam.
I don't know. Yeah, scam, Jasmy scam.
I'm looking at $1 to $1.50 conservatively for H bar. You have to remember that there's also a lot of token releases ahead still, right? So as we go in through this whole cycle, you're still going to see token unlocks. So that's going to help suppress the price to a degree, my opinion. What do you think on H bar?
Go to the chart.
I think we're like 11 cents or something like that right now. Yeah, 11 cents.
And he's saying H bar to $3, so 15x. That's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
That's not outside the realm of possibility for sure.
Oh, it's definitely possible. But you know me, like I said, I like to be conservative. If I say $1.50 and it hits $3, what can I say except you're welcome?
Go to the max chart on that. What's the all-time say? So the previous all-time high is around 50 cents. If it tripled that, it'd be at $1.50. Yeah, three's probably stretching it a little bit. Maybe you're closer to $1.50 than $3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I think you got a pretty good guess on that one.
I hold a big old bag of H bar, so
okay.
Appreciate the responses. No problem, buddy. No problem. I don't own any ICP, but it is a top crypto. We like the new internet. Yes, it is a good project. It really is. What? Okay, you sell all, but you'll be able to buy at these low prices again. I mean, I get asked that a lot over the last couple of days too. Is like, do I think Jasmy's going to go back below a cent in the next bear market? Well, I mean, listen, it's going to essentially it's going to fall between 85 and 95% historically from whatever high it gets, right? So to be able to know how low it's going to go in the next bear market, I need to know how high it's going to go in this bull run still, right? Then I can kind of give you some sort of a realistic estimation, right? For all we know, Jasmine goes to $3. Well, no, then we're probably not seeing a fraction of a cent again, right?
Yeah.
But if it goes to 25 cents, well,
if it does a Cardano and it goes above $3, then I'd expect it to drop down somewhere around 30 cents.
Yeah. This one's for you. Your asking prices.
That's true. True statement. Yeah, I was really disappointed. I don't know, maybe I would like to think that some of the discussions that I know these aren't really public, but we did have discussions in a group chat with them, and there was kind of a day the dam broke kind of day. That did happen, and everybody kind of said their piece. So I kind of got everything I needed to say out at that point in time. I have been, I've reached out to KJ on Twitter a couple of times and said, hey, here's some low hanging fruit. Do these things. They haven't done them yet, but that doesn't mean they're not going to do them. They may just, have other things they're working on. Right. So, ultimately when the charts started moving again and waking up, obviously, you kind of get over your qualms. Right. It's kind of like, well, maybe I was really hard on him, but I mean, I think I had a point on pretty much everything I brought up, but at the same time,
I was hangry.
Hey, I just want him to succeed, honestly. I'm like that hard dad, like that 1950s dad. It's like, I tried to make you strong,
Just abusive as hell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I berated you every day because I tried to make you better.
You suck at everything.
Yeah, why do you suck across the board? I tried to make you more like me,
Oh shit.
All right. Feel the bull cycle on faster because of the ETFs putting us ahead of schedule. I don't know about that. I kind of feel like the last couple of years have been artificially too low. So there's a lot of ground to make up, So even though technically we're ahead of schedule, I feel like we were in a deeper hole, I know one thing that usually in crypto, when everybody says, hey, the market's going to peak in April of 25, that's not going to happen, right? Like whatever the whole group thinks is going to happen, not happening. There's no way. So could we be ahead of schedule? Maybe, but were we in a deeper hole? Definitely.
I actually watched an interesting video a couple of days ago on that. And they talked about how COVID actually did slow the market more than people think that it did in the last 4-year cycle. And that based on his charts, Bitcoin should have gone to about $150,000 in the last bull run, but underperformed because of the panorama there, right? And then went on to say that he thinks, this time around we see closer between a $300,000 and $400,000 Bitcoin because we were held back, so to speak. So just touching on what you were saying, that we kind of underperformed a little bit last time around, right?
Definitely. Yeah, so, I think so. I think your idea of a $300,000 to $500,000. Hey,
my idea.
Yeah, your idea was a $50,000 Bitcoin. We're already ahead of that, so all wins are over here. Yeah, the Bitcoin cycle, and what they're really kind of talking about is like Plan B and stock to flow, his stock to flow model. Yeah. It's still under where it should be. And the question is has stock to flow broken? Is it diminishing returns over time, or does it continue to accelerate at the same rate, right? And I don't know if anybody knows that, or maybe there could be, like, if you think about it, I think Saylor said, like 99% of all Bitcoins mined within the next 10 years. Okay, great. So let's say our point of volatility is between now and 10 years from now. That's when it's going to be the most volatile. And then after that, it goes straight up because there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting either way, but again, it all leads back to these ETFs. And like I got to say, I did a video on the 14th of the month of this month, and the inflows for the ETFs on the 14th of the month had already eclipsed the entire month of February's inflows. So it's continuing to accelerate at a rapid pace,
Yeah.
right? It's at some point, I believe that that is going to have a more violent effect on the market than we've seen to this point.
It has to. Yeah. It has to.
I feel like we're holding a beach ball underwater right now.
Well, and again, going back to the retirement accounts, I think the retirement accounts are the holy grail for Bitcoin. They really are, right? If you could get in, tap into the retirement accounts across the board, around the world, everybody's retirement accounts. I mean, most people that invest in retirement simply do it by taking some money out of their check and it goes in the account, and they don't look at it till years and years later. And there's usually rules around it that you can't take it out unless, you're doing some special circumstance or whatever. And so if you think about that for Bitcoin, if that were true and Bitcoin achieved that, then all bets are off for how high it goes. Because if you get that many people around the planet with retirement accounts that are just endlessly buying it week over week, and it's just kind of going, their position is going up, up, up. I mean, sometimes I think about this and I think, like 10 years from now, right? A decade from now, 15 years from, if I'm still alive, hopefully I am, but if I am, it's almost like, to not succeed in this, you really got to screw up. I mean, you really got to just muck the whole thing up, because, I mean, nothing is a sure thing, but to be as early as we are, I did a comparison at one point on my channel. This is like a year or two ago, about crypto in comparison to like the stock market, and it was like we were in the first like couple years of the stock market, and that was like 100 years ago. Like that's kind of like the comparison to where we are and where it could go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really true.
Well, we're under $2 trillion still.
Yeah.
Like when you really zoom out, right? And yeah, I'm just gonna say it, to be honest. At some point, I don't know when, but at some point down the road, I do firmly believe we'll see $1 million Bitcoin, and we will see MicroStrategy be like insanely wealthy as a company, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
$1 trillion company at that point. Like,
yeah, for sure, it'll happen.
Guys, Bitcoin's basically a meme coin, and it's trained us to think bull bear ETFs are going to stabilize Bitcoin. Eventually, I mean, I don't know. That's the fear with crypto, right? A lot of people think that, diminishing returns, eventually the crypto market will end up dying down in volatility and behave more like the stock market does. I don't think that in the short term and the near term, we're anywhere near worrying about that. 15, 20 years from now, if you're still trying to make it in crypto, I mean, like Jesse just said, you must have really screwed up. That much time goes by and you still haven't, made life-changing money. But I think that's down the road, right? And personally, I'll be, 60 something, and I definitely won't still be trying to invest in crypto. I'll be on a beach somewhere. So we're not close to volatility dying in crypto to that point where opportunity's lost, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and think of this. Look at all the Bitcoin mining that every day some other company is getting into, starting, investing in. There is significant investment in Bitcoin mining right now. And why would all these companies be doing that if they didn't think that investment would pay off, right? So even though the mining returns diminish, they think they're going to be worth more. So they're
Yeah.
still investing in mining, right?
Yeah, they're not stupid.
No, no.
I think you'd be more equipped to answer this one.
Yes, that is a part of it. I remember if you really want to know, Dip Metaverse did a YouTube video on this a long time ago, and he plugged everything into his spreadsheet, and he's like a super math whiz, put it all in there, and it's all in there together. So yes.
So check out Dip Metaverse.
Yep, absolutely.
Check him out. Only strong adoption of the coins will make prices stable. Independent Bitcoin 7 to 10. Yeah, we're a ways away from that. I wanted to show you something that I thought was absolutely. I thought you'd love this, so I got to show it to you. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Vitalik revamped Ethereum's staking would include delegation and remove slashing. He even describes other blockchains that do this without naming them.
Okay.
Check this out. I'll give you Charles Hoskinson's response. He's talking about Cardano.
Oh, that's really funny.
Oh, man. They end up copying him.
Yeah, hey, if you can't beat them, join them, you know. And a lot of the guys on the original Ethereum group left because of their frustrations. And so now he's going, well, hey, maybe we'll do that.
Charles with the alpha response.
Yeah, that's really funny. Come on.
Oh man, Charles has no chill. So yeah, so like, what are you thinking for the roadmap? I'm assuming you're gonna want a few days to kind of go over it.
Yeah, I'll have to digest it a little bit for sure. I'll have to probably send a few DMs out to my various JASMY compatriots, and we'll have to see what everybody thinks. You know, what could be in it, right? I mean, hopefully the big nuggets are there, and maybe there's some stuff that's unexpected, right? I just hope there's some detail. Like I said, his first roadmap he put out was really bad. Mm-hmm. It was very generic, really didn't say a whole lot. The one last year was much better, said a lot more. But our roadmap is never really going to be like some of these other projects. It's just not. So I hope there's detail in there, and I hope we get some time frames to hopefully wrap some of these things up, like the wallet, for example. You know, like how soon till that actually comes out, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see.
And then also some even rough ideas on this lockup. Like, do you have not you, but like them, you know, do they have even a rough estimate as to how much you're locking up? Are they? Because KJ, I shared it again. Is that his name, KJ, right? Over on the Telegram. Yeah, yep. He shared a screen, or he said the other day, and I covered it on the channel. He said that they apparently he was asked when lockup, when PDL, you know, when is this stuff happening? Because I mean, we're halfway through the month, right? And I don't know if you saw it, but his response was that the team fully intended on following through on their promises for this month. So I don't know. I mean, you know, that only sounds to me, it sounds positive, because I would assume that if they didn't plan on meeting any of their goals or expectations, when asked directly a question like that, I would assume they would have been far more evasive about giving a clear answer.
Yeah.
Rather than just, yep, we're going to keep our promises.
Yeah, they've got a culture that you know, I think they would see that as honorable by coming through and doing what they said they were going to do when they said they were going to do it, if possible, right? So, I mean, that's one of the reasons I think a lot of us are attracted to JASMY in the first place, is because of where it's located, right? I mean, if you put that same project and you stuck it into, I don't know, Texas, would you think the same things were true? Probably not. Probably not. You stuck it in Oakland. It's like, probably not.
Well, I did a video last night addressing a question, because it's in my comments all the time, and it's always somebody who doesn't know much about JASMY or whatever, and they always ask, yeah, but what if they don't lock up coins? What if they don't? So I've been asked a question so many times, I had to do a video on it, and I just said, like if you're going to live your life and run your investments off of a worst case scenario, what if hypothetical, right? Like, I don't know how far you'll really get, but what I would say is that look at the team when you're looking at that, when you're thinking those kinds of things, right? Look at their histories. Have they been successful in the past at everything that they've done? Have they been massive failures? Have they not followed through on commitments that they've made professionally in the past, right? And if not, if they've been, true to their word in their past business operations, then for me, that gives them every benefit of the doubt that they would continue to operate in the same way.
Yeah. Here's another one of my Jesse-isms is people don't suddenly become who they've never been, right?
Yes.
So the point is you have a historical record that tells you that they do ultimately achieve what they set out to do, right? So could they achieve those goals? Yes. Might it look differently than what we're all imagining? Maybe. I don't know, and honestly, outside of the Web3 and the IoT in Japan and the tech and all that, sometimes in crypto, it doesn't even matter, I mean, it could just be a great idea that enough people are like, I want to get some of that. I want to get in on that JASMY, right?
Yeah.
So that could happen too. I don't know. We'll see.
It's interesting that comment. It's getting to a point where it irritates me, because it's like, I feel like, be a little bit more responsible and do some research, like look into it, look at the team, and you decide for yourself,
Yeah.
Asking other people on the internet, like, I don't get me wrong, I love questions. I'm here to answer them and all that stuff as best I can, but never take what I say as like, yes, okay, Rob said it, so Hara's going to do it. Like, what? I don't know Hara from a hole in the ground. As an individual, I can only look at his history as a professional, right? And getting my opinion. So, and I give Ando, Sato, Hara, the whole team, I give them the benefit of the doubt, because I have no reason not to, right? So
yeah. I don't know if I've shared it with you. Maybe I have, maybe not. Brian, who's one of the JASMY ambassadors, a long time ago, he started up a private Discord, right? And he invited me to it, and some of the other influential people in the space are kind of all in there, whatever. And he posts his research, they post theirs, everything's in tabs. The rabbit hole runs deep. I'll tell you that much. I mean, it really does. I mean, it is like an encyclopedia worth of research that's in Brian's Discord. And it, I think for the average person, you don't have all access to all that. You've never seen it. You never will see it. I mean, some of these things that he finds or has found, they're in versions of the internet that don't exist anymore. He's like, yeah, I found it in the Wayback Machine. And it's like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay, cool. And then he posts something there, and you start reading, and you're like, wow, well, that's interesting, you know. And you see the way that all these executives are connected, and how the government fits into it. And there's just so much more going on behind the scenes that isn't really out there publicly. But what I found over the years of following it is that all of our kind of hunches and where we thought it was going and what we thought things meant were always true. They
Yeah.
were true, and it was like, holy crap, like we found that. We knew that was going to happen, you know. And there's things like that have come along the way, you know. It's like, man, like this is crazy, you know. It's like you can tell all of us are kind of like, this is a little different than, you know, like other stuff that we're looking at. So anyway.
See, that is encouraging, right? It's encouraging to hear that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's how I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I mean, and to be honest, at the end of the day, I would never discourage anyone from investing into Jasmy or anything else. But if you have to ask questions like that, like, well, what if they don't this, that, or the other thing? Have you done enough research in a project to be buying into it in the first place?
Yeah, you're more so gambling if you're asking that question. But you can gamble. I mean, that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of crypto is gamblers. Is what it is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, you can do whatever you want with your money.
What do we got here? Japanese being the only crypto BTC regulated over Japan will catch BlackRock's attention. I don't think so. What do you think?
I think before BlackRock is getting into alts, that I feel like the security question needs to be answered in a clearer way, right? I think it's too risky of a position for them to even to dabble in it if they're not 100% sure. So
well, that's
yeah,
just
go ahead.
Jasmy only has legal clarity as a commodity in Japan, right? The United States could say we don't give a crap about that, right?
Well, to their credit, though, there's no ICO.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of one of the big linchpins for the SEC. So they wouldn't get them there. And Jasmy has said all along that they have one of the largest fintech lawyers representing them in Japan. So they've tried to do everything legally and compliant, but doing that worldwide in an unregulated market is nearly impossible, right?
A little more complicated.
Yeah.
KJ's quote, yes, the quote was, "We are fully prepared to deliver on our promises." So I mean, that for me, that's enough for right now, right? Acknowledgement of the questions, because the response was when lockup, when PDL, right? Those were the direct questions, and that was the response, the exact quote. And for now, that's good enough for me. Like I said, for me, if they were evasive or elusive in some way, then I would be a little bit more skeptical about whether they were going to follow through, right? But it seems like a pretty straightforward, direct response.
Yeah, I agree.
So, will Bitcoin go back to 58, 55K? I could see 58. I don't know about 55. Let me check my crystal ball. 1 second. I don't know. I don't. 58's possible, but I don't. I think we could see another leg down still. So, you brought up mining. Max has mentioned that he just started mining KASPA. What's unique about KASPA? They do have a halving every year, but for me personally, KASPA is this 4-year cycles generation of Cardano, right? They're really, really similar. The tokenomics, KASPA has about half the max supply of Cardano. They're both layer ones. KASPA is in the exact same position Cardano was in the last bull run. They don't have smart contracts right now. No one's building on them. They have the same things are being said about them that were said about Cardano, right? So for me, that's the closest comparison. The next generation of Cardano.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how much you know about KASPA.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a lick.
I know their K is backwards and they're green. Does that help?
Why is the K backwards?
There actually is a reason. I can't remember what it is though, for the life of me. But there is actually a reason why it's backwards, and it made perfect sense. But I'll probably remember it after the stream or something.
Okay.
XRP is the only coin that has legal clarity, if I'm not wrong. You are correct. Technically, a lot of people say Bitcoin has legal clarity, but it has opinionated clarity. It technically does not have, by law, legal clarity. There's just no one to sue.
Great.
If there was someone to sue, they would not have legal clarity.
Yeah, Mr. Bitcoin. Call him into court. Yeah, we'll call him in like they call in Zuckerberg and flog him for the day. You know?
Well, they would give him the Tate Trump treatment if he was a real person.
Yep.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Mr. Bitcoin's trafficking human beings, something, right? So yeah, terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I don't know, brother. So like, I don't know. Did you want to get together and cover the roadmap?
Definitely. So yeah, let's let that come out. I'll see if I have some free time. Obviously on the weekend, I probably have a little more time than during the week.
I was gonna say, why don't we kind of tentatively, like, say next weekend, Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, that'd be great. We could do that. Cover it, see what we think. You could even invite JASMY US back.
Actually, I spoke with him, and he actually is eager, and he said he's available the last weekend of the month. So so
Okay,
it works
cool.
out perfectly. Yeah, I'll shoot him a message, or I don't know if you want to shoot him a message, whatever.
Whatever, you can coordinate it. That's fine. But yeah, I definitely like to cover it as a group. Kind of, we can all bounce our thoughts around what everybody thinks of it. As I've said before, it's a lot more fun to collaborate in crypto than to do videos by yourself. So I'm up for that whenever.
100%. Like, I don't know how Max does it. Like, I got to give him mad respect. Like the other day, he did like a 7-hour live stream.
That's insane.
I know, right? Like, I don't know how he sits there for 7 hours, like, or even like normally, like I was on Max's channel about 2 weeks ago and I had a great time. I love talking to Max. He's awesome, right? We streamed for about 4 hours.
That's a long stream.
Yeah. And, but it works, but I just don't understand. Like after about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, my brain starts turning to mush.
Exactly.
Especially if you're by yourself. If you're with, like, you and I, we can chat, and it's like, it kind of keeps it going. But when you're by yourself, I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I don't know if my voice could hold it for that long.
Yeah.
I kind of get to the point where it's like, all right, I've said everything I got to say. There ain't nothing left,
Yeah. Luckily, the chat is usually pretty active. So a lot of inquiring minds out there, right?
I know. I would say, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming out and shooting the breeze with us today. It's always good to kind of hear from everybody and answer questions and whatnot.
Put out some fires.
Yeah, all that good stuff. But anyway, I do have to get going tonight. And I feel like I picked up a cold or something. I feel like I'm going downhill.
Oh shit! Get some rest, buddy. We need you.
Yeah, I know. I know that's never good. I try to avoid colds, but I recently it's spring break here, and we went to here in the U.S. Kennedy Space Center is nearby, so I went down there and checked it out, and with my family had a pretty good time. But I think there must have been somebody over there that got me the sniffles.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. So anyway.
All right, brother. Well, yeah, we'll schedule it for. I'll message JASMY US there. I'll shoot him a message today, and I'll get it set up for next weekend. And I guess we have all three of us have some homework, studying the roadmap.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rob. I'll
All right,
catch you
brother.
then, and till next time, be well.
You too, my brother. See you
All
later,
right,
man.
man. See ya.
So there you go, guys. We will be back next weekend. Me, Jesse, and JASMY US. We're gonna do a breakdown of the roadmap. Just give us some time to study it, to figure it out, and we'll break it down for all of you guys. Okay. So I will be back a little bit later for a live stream this evening. So be here for that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the surprise stream that we had going on today. So tried to get as many comments and stuff as we could. But I'll talk to you guys in a couple of hours. I'm just going to go eat some supper, and I'll be back for a stream later. Thanks, guys.